Okay. Good evening, everyone, and welcome to today's session of eMeet Your Architecture School. This is probably one of the last of the sessions for this year, and looking forward to a lovely session with all of y'all and as much interaction as possible. Feel free to ask your questions and get to know K.S. School of Architecture better. So K.S. School of Architecture is in Bangalore. And in case y'all would like to find out more about the school, what y'all can do is click on this link. This leads you to uh, the listing on DQ Edge or the DQ Labs learning platform. And you'll have details about the school, and you can click the Inquire Here button on that screen. What will happen is your contact details will go to the right person at KS School of Architecture. The link is there in the description of this YouTube webinar, and you can click it there, but I will also post it in the chat as soon as we're done. But today we have Dr. R. Jagannathan, who's the principal of K.S. School of Architecture. He started his career with BMS College of Engineering and is currently the principal of K.S. School of Architecture. So he's, of course, worked at various levels in the academic industry. So he's been with MIT Manipal, and he's worked with other colleges in Chennai, in Pune, and he's also done his research, from the Department of Sanskrit in the University of Madras, and has presented a lot of publications as well. I'll let him introduce that. But professionally, he's also a consultant for a large number of individuals and institutions, and has written a lot of his research has found a lot of practical applications. So I'll let him talk a little more about that. But from an academic perspective, his vision is firmly believed in sincere and innovative approach to teach and inspire students. All right. The school has adopted a vision of culture and climate and cost as their basic guiding principle. Dr. Jagannathan, thank you so much for taking the time out to come here and meet with our students and parents. And we'd be happy and excited to listen to what you have to say about K.S. School of Architecture. Thanks so much for coming in, Dr. Jagannathan.
My pleasure, Mr. Dion. Thanks to you and DQ Labs for inviting us and giving us an opportunity to interact with your students and their parents to present about the credentials of the school for which I work as the principal.
Always a pleasure.
Thanks, Mr.
Yeah. Yes, so you could go ahead. I believe you have a presentation that you'd like to share.
Yes.
Yeah, so you can share that presentation. It's visible, so
is it?
Yeah.
Is it visible?
Yes, it is.
All right. Yeah. Good evening to all of you. This is Professor Dr. Jagannathan, principal of the K.S. School of Architecture of Kanakpura Road, Bangalore. K.S. School of Architecture is a comparatively young college offering the program of architecture, and we are a part of a group of this Kammavari Sangham, which runs an engineering college called as KSIT, which was started in the year 1999. And they also started before that a KS Polytechnic, 1992. and another engineering called K.S School of Engineering and Management in 2011. And our K.S School of Architecture was started in the year 2015. So we have, as of today, 2 batches of our students who've passed out and have been successfully employed, or some of them are in the prestigious institutions somewhere outside India and outside Bangalore doing their post-graduations. I'll give you a connection to that as we go through the presentation. Our School of Architecture is run by this trust called as the Kammavari Sangham, the president of which is Sri Rajgopal Naidu, and our honorary secretary is Sri Leela Shankar Prasad Rao, and our treasurer is Sri T. Neeradakshala Naidu. And they are our managing committee, and they are supported by another group of committed philanthropists who support our institution as directors in the team of the trust.
Sir, are you scrolling? Because we can't see. We can see one presentation there, but it's stuck on our strength as our team.
Oh.
Yeah.
Is it visible now?
I think you need to stop sharing and reshare again.
Okay, we'll do that.
Yes, now
yeah,
it's better. Yeah.
Okay. Now, I'll not go back to the earliest 2 screens. That was nothing. So it was just introduction. Now, the more important part is our vision statement. As a school, when we started in the year 2015, the then management team invited me to come and head the school for them as a principal and set up the school. I came on the condition that we will not set up one more school, which will be another money churner for another set of managements, which is a general perception, which of course is not the case though, but then that was the general perception. And so I said that I will not do that. If you people are serious about contributing to the profession and through the profession to the society, yes, I'm here. And with that clear understanding, I came in on board to set up this School of Architecture for the Kammavari Sangham. And the vision and the mission statements, we've been very consistent. You can look into our website from the year 2015 when we started. We have been strongly committed to these commitments, and we've been pursuing them to establish them in our institution. So our vision statement says, shall strive to build an architectural ecosystem that constantly evolves to be professionally relevant and socially sensitive. So we have to be relevant for the profession. At the same time, we also need to be sensitive to the society. So that has been our vision. And what is happening? And our mission statement says, shall empower the students to critically engage with the community and the natural environment by instilling the essential principles of design and inspiring a sense of exploration and creative experimentation in designing the built environment with focus on culture, climate, and cost. Yes, K.S. School of Architecture is recognized by the apex body, the Council of Architecture, and we are affiliated to the Visvesvaraya Technological University, the VTU. And therefore, we are bound by the syllabus that has been prescribed by the university. Nevertheless, we have been striving to live by our commitment to our mission of focusing on culture, climate, and cost which we believe are the three essential principles which makes any architecture, therefore any built environment, successful for the individuals and for the community. So that's what we kept in our mind. And as we call it as the 3 C's that we are committed to. And if you see in the corner of our slide, use the logo of our college, which is also kind of broadly resembling the 3 C's, which was conceived by one of our students in the first batch itself, as the 3 C's also resembling a part of a house or a shelter, was given as a competition for the very first batch of students, and a team of architects were invited to review this, and this logo was selected and which we've adopted. So from day one, we have also been trying to be, bringing our students into all our growth from the designing of our logo. To put ourselves in a broad spectrum, I would like to quickly present you the 5 broad strengths that we have. The first is our team, that's our faculty. Myself, I'm an architect, graduated from Manipal in the year 1987, did my post-graduation in Masters in Town and Country Planning from Anna University. And I also have a postgraduate diploma in construction management from the National Institute of Construction Management and Research, Pune. And of course, subsequently, I've done my PhD in the Vastu Vidya from the University of Madras. In our faculty team, we are supported by Professor Satyaprakash Varanashi, who is our professor, who also has his consultancy by the name and title of Satya Consultants, a consultancy firm committed to the environment, and they are, as a firm, very well known and established as a firm which designs and facilitates environmentally sustainable homes. Architect Satya Prakash is an urban planner in his post-graduation and also has an MA in conservation from the University of York. We have 3 associate professors, architect Shubhada Batina with a master's in building design from USA, and architect Chaitali Baba with a master's in theory and design from CEPT University Ahmedabad, and architect Priya Katavkar with a master's in habitat design from the BMS College of Engineering, Bangalore. We have a set of young but dynamic assistant professors, architect Shanmugha Prasad with a diploma in civil engineering and subsequently in architecture graduation, and has done his master's in planning, urban and rural planning from CEPT Ahmedabad. Architect Rupesh Kochure with a urban design experience, post-graduation from SPA Bhopal. Architect Aditi with, again, a theory and design post-graduation from CEPT Ahmedabad. Architect Savya with a post-graduation in urban and rural planning from CEPT Ahmedabad. Architect Mithali Vavre with a post-graduation from conservation, SPA Bhopal. Architect Shubham Sharma with a post-graduation in landscaping, and Mr. Arjun Shankar, whose special interests are in heritage architecture. We are supported by a team of engineers, Mr. Ramesh Patel, who has got his post-graduation in structures, and artist, Mr. Murli Gatti, whose post-graduation is from Baroda in the Master of Fine Arts. That's our team. And as a team, we endeavor to inspire and groom our students who come into our college to become fine architects. Towards this, I would like to share with you what the industry has to say about our students. As I told in the beginning, we have had 2 batches of students who passed out. And in this batch, some of the students, all of them have undergone internship, and a couple of them are working with those architectural firms, and they've gone into some other firms. What I will do is, let us hear from the horse's mouth the few architects who have given about their opinion on the students who work with them from our college in their offices. Here it goes.
I am Guru and operate as an urban designer and architect under the banner Between Lines. Nishchita.
So the video is not showing.
Okay, how do I do?
At the studio.
Should I again stop and share?
Yes, I guess so.
Practice such as market expectations, budget handling, vendor management, all demanding high level of people's interactions. She handled them well, showing high level of determination and perseverance. As a research-based firm, we appreciate colleagues who are not jaded and are go-getters. I am Guru and I operate as an urban designer.
Is it visible now?
No, it's not visible. I think you're not sharing your screen.
Oh, 1 second.
Is known to be a collaborator. At the studio, all youngsters.
I am A. Middle Architect, Principal Architect of a firm based out of Jodhpur in Rajasthan.
Are introduced.
Bhanu Krishna, student of K.S. School of Architecture, Bangalore, interned in our office in the second half of 2019. Bhanu has a very fertile mind.
Are you trying to share, sir?
1 second.
During his time in our office, he was assigned with projects he probably had his first brush with, especially the ancient water systems. Not only does he possess the kind of understanding required to study and learn such complex systems, but also has the intellect to document them properly.
As a research,
If he has learned from his time in our office, he has contributed in good measure too. Anu is also a very good human being and will do well in life and profession.
Hi, this is Shankar Narayan, architect, Hyderabad. Soumya from KSSA
Architect,
interned with
Principal
us
architect
in mid
of a firm
2019.
based out of Jodhpur in
And
Rajasthan.
she worked on various projects.
Sir, if you can close the other.
Architecture, Bangalore.
Okay, it looks like there are 3 YouTube.
1 second. What I will
Anu is a very fertile
Is it
mind.
coming now?
It's coming, yes, but since there are 3 playing, it's all overlapping.
Oh,
If you can close the 2 tabs on top, right on
Okay,
top,
I'll do it.
that's yeah.
The
That
ancient
one.
water systems.
Close one more, yeah,
Office. We wish her all
and
the
this
best.
one you can start from the beginning.
Divya from KSCA. I am Guru and operate as an urban designer.
And you can put this on full screen if you want.
Nishchita joined us in the year 2019 as a trainee architect, has grown to be a collaborator. At the studio, all youngsters are introduced to critical aspects of any practice, such as market expectations, budget handling, vendor management, all demanding high level of people's interactions. She handled them well, showing high level of determination and perseverance. As a research-based firm, we appreciate colleagues who are not jaded and are go-getters. She adapted and became a key member in a short time. These were open attitude. We credit the mentors and the environment of K.S.School of Architecture for this.
I am A. Middle Architect, Principal Architect of a firm based out of Jodhpur in Rajasthan. Bhanu Krishna, student of K.S. School of Architecture, Bangalore, interned in our office in the second half of 2019. Bhanu has a very fertile mind, absorbs, learns, and gives back. During his time in our office, he was assigned with projects he probably had his first brush with, especially the ancient water systems. Not only does he possess the kind of understanding required to study and learn such complex systems, but also has the intellect to document them properly. If he has learned from his time in our office, he has contributed in good measure too. Bhanu is also a very good human being and will do well in life and profession.
Hi, this is Shankar Narayan, architect, Hyderabad. Soumya from KSSA interned with us in mid 2019, and she worked on various projects, industrial, residential, public, etc. On detailing, planning, presentation, and so on. We found her quite enthusiastic, willing to take on work, quite inquisitive, and work well with others. And we liked having her over at our office. We wish her all the best in her future career. Thank you.
Divya from KSCA College has done her internship with us at Genesis Architecture, Bangalore. We found her very sincere and dedicated towards her work. She handled few architecture and landscape projects during her internship, and she was good at her work at the caliber of an intern. She's good in photography too. Wishing her best at her endeavors future. Thank you.
Hi, this is architect Sandeep Kumar from Samskriti Design Studio, Davangere. Nisarga from K.S. School of Architecture, Bangalore, was an intern at our office. She was very good at understanding and developing conceptual designs, which most of the students lacks. And she had developed a skill of understanding and preparing meaningful drawings. She was enthusiastic and eager to learn more and more, which is expected from any interns. Thank you.
I am architect Chibi Mathur, running an architectural office in the name of Mathur and Associates. We have been having interns from School of Architecture or Pan-India basis. We would like to share our experience with the intern architect, Kamna, student of K.S. School of Architecture. She was well equipped with academic knowledge and also skilled. She had a flair of understanding the concept and visualizing the complete building. Our professor had imparted and had given in-depth explanation of the various materials used for construction and aesthetic. We wish the professor in K.S. School of Architecture to continue the pattern of delivering such students, good, knowledgeable students of future generation to come.
So that was our response of a few which we could share about some architects, and largely almost all architects with whom our students worked or are continuing to work bring us laurels. So we thought it will be most important for us to share with you the impression of our students, instead of we just telling it, to hear from what architects with whom our students worked would say. Now, having said that, I would also like to hear for you about what our students feel about their college in which they've studied. Here are little snippets on them. Is this visible, Mr. Dion?
Hi
Yes,
everyone, my
Yes,
name
no
is
problem.
Subaina Sibatullah. I am a KSSA alumni. I graduated in the year 2020 and I am currently applying for my master's. The campus life at KSSA is great. Extracurricular activities like sports, art and literature are as encouraged as the regular coursework. The course curriculum is quite relevant to today's professional world. The faculties and staff at KSSA are very knowledgeable and qualified, and above all, very friendly and always available to help you. The infrastructure at KSSA is also great. My favorite being the library, because it has books from self-help to study material to novels. The trips and our study tours and visits to construction sites and factories really gave us the exposure we wouldn't have gotten otherwise. The visiting faculties, the seminars and webinars that the college hosts have been instrumental in shaping us as professionals. Should you choose to join us at KSSA, I hope you enjoy the journey.
ನಮಸ್ಕಾರ. ನಮ್ಮ KSSA ಬಗ್ಗೆ ಒಂದೆರಡು ಮಾತು ಹಂಚಿಕೊಳ್ಳಬೇಕು ಅನಿಸ್ತದೆ. ಪ್ರತಿ ಆರ್ಕಿಟೆಕ್ಚರ್ ಕಾಲೇಜ್ಗಿಂತಲೂ ನಮ್ಮ ಕಾಲೇಜ್ ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಭಿನ್ನ. ಹೇಗೆ ಅಂತೀರಾ? ಮೊದಲನೇ ವರ್ಷದಿಂದಲೇ ನಮಗೆ ವಿವಿಧ ರೀತಿಯ ಸೆಮಿನಾರ್ಸ್, ಡಾಕ್ಯುಮೆಂಟೇಶನ್, ಸೈಟ್ ವಿಸಿಟ್ಸ್, ಹ್ಯಾಂಡ್ಸ್ ಆನ್ ವರ್ಕ್ಶಾಪ್ ಮತ್ತು ಸ್ಟಡಿ ಟೂರ್ಸ್ ಗಳ ಮೂಲಕ ವಾಸ್ತುಶಿಲ್ಪ ಜಗತ್ತಿನ ನೂರೆಳೆಗಳು ನಮ್ಮ ಮುಂದೆ ತೆರೆಯುತ್ತಾ ಹೋಗುತ್ತೆ. ಈ ಕಲೆ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ಪ್ರೀತಿ, ಕಾಳಜಿ ಮತ್ತು ಇದರ ಮಹತ್ವದ ಆಳ ತಿಳಿದಿರುವ ನಮ್ಮ ಶಿಕ್ಷಕ ವರ್ಗದವರ ಜೊತೆಗಿನ ಈ 5 ವರ್ಷದ ಪಯಣ ಬಹಳ ಸಣ್ಣದು. ಬಿಳಿ ಹಾಳೆಯಂತಿದ್ದ ನಮ್ಮನ್ನ ಒಂದು ಸುಂದರ ಚಿತ್ತಾರವಾಗಿಸುವುದು ಈ ನಮ್ಮ KSSA.
Hey everyone, this is Pawan Korpati from K.S School of Architecture, 2020 passed out. So to talk about our college, this 30 seconds or 40 seconds time limit is not really sufficient. But what I could say is that we had an amazing faculties throughout the 5 years and gave us a great and beautiful memories, which I can literally say. The college gave us a lot of exposure in field, on class, everything. We had field trips which were helping out us how the real field was, and look at the lessons, look at people, understand the lifestyle, understand the culture, etc. And however, everything was supporting our college motto, which is cost based under the college philosophies. So I think the college is just amazing, which you can literally look into.
Yeah, that was a few of our students. Now we'll quickly move. The second strength of our college is our teaching pedagogy. Teaching is done in every institution, but the teaching methods that we are adopting in our college are always of innovation, and the methods of innovation are focused on creating an inspiration for our students. Towards that, we've had a couple of approaches in which we are probably one of the very few firsts. Like we've organized what we call as faculty-oriented studios and vertical studios, in which the theme has been interaction, mutual learning, team spirit, multiple ideas, and working with different teams. Again, hands-on design studio has been one of the very successful experiments that we've done, in which, for example, in one of the exercises, we teamed up an NGO called Nivasa, and the relationship between an architectural NGO enriched experience and students to understand a holistic approach in a village. They went to a village called Golhalli, stayed there for more than 10 days, and developed design in interaction with the villagers, and came up with solutions for their requirements. Now, the syllabus also says the students are required to design a single unit residential space. So this suited the syllabus too. So while we kind of maintain the guidelines of the syllabus, we also try to make it as innovative and interesting for the students to learn. By this process, the students not only interacted with their final clients, who are the poor villagers, but they also designed the space and actually got it built for them. So again, we also conduct what we call as summer and winter schools. Today, technological skill is a very, very important component for an architect. Of course, an architect is basically a designer, and you must have great innovations and creative ideas to come up with very innovation solutions for your projects. But then these solutions has to be communicated, one, to your client, and subsequently to your contractors and the workers through drawings. And towards that, today, technology has become an important tool. Some of our winter schools, apart from, of course, training the students in softwares called like AutoCAD and Revit and things like that, we also give them special emphasis to learn Photoshop, 3D Studio Max and SketchUp. Watercolor workshops were conducted, journalism workshops were conducted. We partnered with a platform called Rat Labs to give them training on what we call as parametric architecture, which is the in thing today. So many of these things are, especially the software skills, are actually trained by our own in-house faculty. These are all there, part of the syllabus, but what we do is during the vacations, we give extra emphasis. The faculty open the school up for the students again to train them so that they get very strong and deep skills into these technology softwares. Of course, these training school sessions are open to school students of other schools too. And we have been having a lot of students till the pandemic hit us all coming into our school to join into these workshops. Rural exposure has been one of our forte. We've been traditionally taking all our batches of our students to different villages in and around Karnataka, I would say. No, we started off for the first batch, Bode Bandanhalli. Then they went to Hanchihalli near Tumkur. They went to a village near a small settlement called Puttur near Manglu. We visited Melakote and then to Vasantapura. All these places, we have gone and stayed there at least for a week. And then the students have been exposed and done work at spot. Our approach has been moving from aptitude, because you're all being trained in institutions like DQ Lab, where you have been grilled into your aptitude, to a sense of attitude, where you have an environment of affectionate, appreciative, accommodative, acceptable, cooperative, with humility, empathy, and patience, and perseverance to share the knowledge that the faculty have over here to the young students to groom them into sensitive architects. Our path to the future is cost conscious, to face the resource crunch, culturally appropriate, to design for new generations, climatically conforming to face the ecological crisis our planet is facing, and be creatively unbound to face your challenges, and construction quality to challenge the market competition, and be conscious research for solutions so that our young architects will be updated in their profession. So these are the qualities we try to inculcate into our students. I will just run through very quickly some of the images of the works of our students. Many of them are displayed in our college. When you come to the campus, you can probably see them. So our teaching pedagogy is interactive and participative learning, inquiry-based teaching, learner-centered approach, wherein a student gets to explore the studio. There are group exercises, and students are very closely handheld to understand the kind of projects that they do. The process is made to be felt even in the first semester by our students. When they go to the levels of expressing, we encourage them to do it through the medium of presentations and art. So these are all some of the works of some of our students. as you see here. In fact, they are all the work of the students in our very first semester. And as I take you up into the third semester, the second year, now we see how the basic theme was to understand and connect theory and architecture and the principles of aesthetics, which is a very essential ingredient for architecture, and evolve it in the architectural design studio. So we see a small project which a student has done, and we see how they have made the presentations to explain their ideas. So these are a few sheets. I'm running it a little fast in order to save time. Once the designs are done, the students make models, and so that they understand the impact of their designs in the three-dimensional context. Going on to the fifth semester, that is the third year, students take ownership of the problem by varying the site, the program, and the theory. A new language of construction technique is introduced to them, and architectural thinking in terms of theory as a new skill for visualization is already inbuilt into them through the various softwares is facilitated. So the innovation over here is hybridization as a concept, which is encouraged for the students to work on. Some of the exercises that our students have done. Now, going to the seventh semester, the syllabus looks at it as an urban insert project where the students are encouraged to think design as a process, and given a design inspiration, goes into design synthesis, ideation, design development, and a proposal has to be made. A few sheets, the works of some of our students. In fact, our students' works were displayed by the platform of the urban designers of India, and as select projects from across the colleges of Karnataka. So these are a few works of our students. You can see their skills in design thinking and also their digital presentation capabilities, which they've already got into when they are in their third year. When they go into the seventh semester, they get into urban design projects, looking at a situation at the urban level, larger level, and how the students work and conceptualize spaces. Finally, when they come to their 10th semester or the 5th year, they do this, what we call as the architectural thesis. It's a project work which the students themselves choose and are guided by the faculty with the support of senior architects to come up with their design solutions. These are some of the thesis projects which I'm displaying for you to see. This was another project. A student took a settlement called Ahobilam near Kurnool in Andhra Pradesh, and she developed a project for them out over there. The requirement was to develop a cultural and heritage center, and that's how she developed the project in. And this was another project for housing by another student. Housing for senior citizens. In fact, this is a project, I'm just presenting you the schematic scheme which is being worked out by our student for a designing of an airport as a thesis project. Now we are encouraging him to look at the airport in a totally different perspective from what we are made to perceive an airport is to be today. So we have been, as a part of our academic activities, going on site visits, day trips, and case study visits. Students have been visiting the various centers, the Fireflies Intercultural Center, IIM Bangalore, Janavadaloka on the Mysore-Bengaluru highway. Students have also been taken on study trips which is also, of course, a part of the syllabus. But then when we plan the study trips, we do a very, very meticulous planning so that the study trips are real study trips. The students have visited, as a part of their study trips, Sri Lanka. They've been to Sikkim. And apart from that, we normally go to Thiruvananthapuram every year to the Laurie Baker Center, where they stay for about 10 days and undergo the workshop to build with bricks and mud. Some of the projects which they were working on in real life projects, at Tumkur for a residence, for example, the students were actually digging out the earth and making the earth mud blocks. And here you see some of our students who participated in the INTACT program for the conservation of the fourth school. They were also part of it. Here you see how our students were doing the mud blocks I told you, in the Golahalli village, where they actually did the blocks to construct the designs that they had done for the villagers. Apart from that, they were also interacting with the villagers to develop their designs. So these are some of the interventions that our students did. When they went to the site, apart from just giving a design, we actually come up with facilities for the local people. We take our students out on site visits where they do sketches, learn by experience. They sit in front of a house and actually make the drawing. Here are some of the exercises of the students where they have done the models of the designs that they have done. You see the plans, the sections and the details, and then the model is also on display. Some of the experiences, while we do take the students out on study trips and tours, they do have a lot of rigorous learning to be done, but it is also interspersed with a lot of fun and learning through the process of participatory learning. During their visits on their study trips, they interacted with legendary architects of India like B.V. Doshi and such senior people. When their visit to the campuses in Ahmedabad, in Jaipur, they've had dialogues with Mr. Doshi, with Mr. Yatin Pandya. Such qualified architects have also been interacting with their students during their study trips. Now, coming to our third level of our strength is our infrastructure that our management has created for us in our campus. We have a campus which is about 120,000 square feet, independent, state-of-art building for the School of Architecture. The entire school is fit and facilitated with technology and equipment. Studios are set up. Every studio, every lecture hall has digital media, projectors, and facilities for learning. An extensively housed library with more than 2,000 books. Architecture books are very expensive, and for a 6-year school, having more than 2,000 books it's a no mean achievement. And we also been subscribing ever since our inception to some of the best international journals and national level journals in architecture in our campus. You see some of the models which are made by the student over the semesters, literally making a settlement by itself. That's where the students do their presentation and their reviews are undertaken and guidance are given to them. The jury space, as it is called. And our students' achievement is one of our big strengths. Academically, we are an institution, where as a concept or as an approach, we don't insist that we should take only students who have got 80% and above, or students who are only in CET ranking, which are very, very in the initial levels? No. We also take students who are at very deep levels of CET ranking and who have not probably performed so well in their second PU or at 12th. But then you see here, we see having students getting ranks from our college in the different semesters, from the third semester, from the second semester, from the seventh semester, in the ninth semester, different semesters, students have been getting university ranks. And we've shown excellent results. This is a list of students who got, the marks are being displayed here with their, standing in the university rank. And our results, we have been always doing extremely well. We always compare ourselves with different colleges in Bangalore. Ours is a 5 to 10 so we compare ourselves with category A, which is 5 to 10-year-old colleges, comparing with category B, 25 to 30-year-old colleges of big standing. Again, so in this categories, we see we are comparing as where we stand. And everywhere we are in the 90% and above percentage of pass. Everywhere, if you see, we have a 92% pass, 96% pass in the third year. Fourth year, maybe we have 100% pass. Fifth year, may again 100% pass. On an average, our overall pass rate has been 95.6%. And we are trying to reach the 100% level in our academic performances. But academics alone is not life. There is a lot more to life than academics. So we have a lot of activities to encourage our students. Our students themselves sit and publish our college magazines. We have had students who've been in the field of modeling, and we've encouraged them. And this girl particularly, she's been doing very well in that field. We've been having a student who's been a performing artist, dancer, and through the course, we ensured she does not miss her dancing activity, and sports and games facilities are also encouraged, where we have students who've been doing very well even in those activities. So like that, we have had students doing various kinds of activities, and we've encouraged them to excel in all their strengths. Apart from that, in our school, we bring in, as our student, when she spoke in the beginning, said, Umayma, we have encouraging learning facilities over here. Towards that, we conduct what we call as Alochana, a Saturday talk series. We've been bringing so many experts, not just architects, artists, technocrats, different kinds of people to the college to share their experiences with the students by way of a seminar or workshops, so that the students' broader learning gets enriched. We have also been conducting webinars. Of course, this trend started out after the COVID lockdowns. Now we have had a series of webinars on digital heritage and conservation. We had our faculty themselves talking. Many times we call experts, but then this time we said, let's encourage our own faculty to present to the world. So our faculty have also made parts of presentations in these webinars. We've conducted a post-graduation guidance career program called Pravesha to Profession, which was aimed to facilitate young architects who've just passed out to get into the profession. And we've had a lot of collaboration from the industry, as I've listed out over here. Many of them we worked with, including from the ground level NGOs to multinational consultancy firms have been our partners, where they have absorbed and trained our students. That gives the contact information of our college. We are just off Kanakpura Road. We have to take the left at Metro Pillar 242. And all details, of course, are available on our website, www.kssa.edu.in. That's where we are.
Right, sir. Thank you so much. I mean, it was a very interesting presentation. Thanks so much for taking the time out to do this. But one of the interesting things that you showcased in this presentation was the student projects, right? The final theses that they submitted. If you can go back to those slides,
Yeah,
and we'll spend a little more time over that.
that's right.
All right. So now in these theses projects,
Yeah.
um, could you explain what exactly a student needs to do? What is their process they need to follow, and what are they supposed to do? How do they come up with a solution like this? If you can just briefly explain.
See, after architecture is generally perceived as a 5-year course, but in reality, it is not. It is actually a 4-year course plus 6 months plus 6 months. What do I mean by this is you do 4 years of academic learning, and in your 9th semester, the students go for what we call as practical training. So they go for the entire semester and work with an architectural firm. Now, after this exposure of working with an architectural firm, they come back to the college, and in the 10th semester, what they do is called as a thesis project. Now, after 4 years of academic learning and 1 semester of having had hands-on experience with a firm, these students come back into the campus to do what they may do in a real-time project at an academic level. That is what is a thesis project. So in the thesis project, the students are given the freedom to choose the kind of project they want. They can choose whatever they want to do, and then they pick their faculty. In fact, in our college, we don't assign a faculty to guide them. The students are given a choice to pick any faculty whom they want to be guided with. And then we invite a team of senior architects, practicing consulting architects, to visit our campus on a regular basis to give guidance to the students on the project that they have selected. Now, in this project, the way they have to do, the second part of your question is what they need to do over here is to they first display their designing capabilities, their ability to come up with innovative solutions for a given situation. Say, for example, in a project like this, it's a design development for a museum. So they would like to understand what is the requirement. So first they have to write the project out. What is the requirement? The program of the project is to be made. And then how do you make it possible? So if you need a site. Now, in this case, what we normally do is for this, we encourage our students. There is no hard and fast rule though, but we generally encourage our students to take live projects. And we also support them with a basket of projects. If any students are interested, they could pick it up as a live project. And so it becomes all the more real and hands-on for the students. So then they go to the actual site, try to understand the conditions of the site, the context of the site, what are the surroundings of the site, and then come up with design development and their solutions to the requirement of the project. But in this case, at the thesis level, what is the difference is what they did up to the 8th semester to the thesis level is that their projects, their proposals that they come up with should be as close as possible to the real ground solution. In fact, even in the current semester, for our the 5th semester project, for example, that we are doing now, we have selected a semi-live project for the students. Semi-live in the sense that the site is live, the requirements are almost 80% as per the client requirement. We have added a few more facility requirements into that to add on to the challenge for the students, and we've given the project. through the semester, the students will kind of work on it. And at the end of the semester, we are planning to invite, we've already spoken to the client, and we are inviting the client to also to take a review of the work and pick up whatever interesting parts of the work that they have done to be implemented in the site. So that is the way we try to work. And so effectively, it gives an opportunity for the students to display their skills that they've learned through the entire course. And the challenge is, if it's a live project, there is a good possibility that this project may fully or partly get executed. And if that happens, it's a big win for the student. And we encourage that, and many of our students' works have been going through. And now, apart from the thesis level, we are trying to bring that down into the lower level studios also, so that they also do a live project. Like as I said the students in the very second semester, first and second semester, they went to the Golahalli village. They did a residence for a one-room tenement, and it was actually built by the students themselves. So that is the kind of exercise that we do.
Fantastic. I think that's a very, very interesting experience. And this is something that is good for a student who's trying to get into architecture, just to understand what happens and how they should go about. Very interesting. Right. So I think we've come to the end of this session. All right. It's 6 o'clock now. So, but thank you so much for taking the time out to be here. And if you can go to your last slide, which shows your the college, the college, code. Yeah. So for those who are interested, the CT code is E250. Comment K code is E179. And if you're interested in K.S. School of Architecture, you can go on to DQ Edge and you can take the link of the college from there and connect with them and find out whatever you need to connect with the right person from the school, and then the school will contact you. All the best to the students here, and thank you for being part of this webinar. Looking forward to a good future for each of you. So all the best, and all the best for your CT counseling and your Comment K counseling as well. Thank you so much, sir.
Yes. Best wishes and greetings to all the students from the K.S School of Architecture 2 for a bright and a successful career. And thanks to DQ Lab for the opportunity.
Right. Thank you.
Thank you.